Welcome back. For the past decade, likes have been the chief currency of Facebook. It's the way we've determined how many people think our babies are cute, believe our jokes are funny, and recognize our new jobs as impressive. Facebook itself has been so synonymous with likes that the thumbs up icon for the like button was placed on the sign outside the company's headquarters. Now, Facebook is rethinking this feature as part of a broader effort to make the social network less stressful to use. On Thursday, the company said it will begin a test to hide the number of likes, reactions, and video views from posts in Australia. The author of the post will still be able to see those metrics, but other users will not. In April, Facebook-owned Instagram announced it would begin testing hiding like counts in Canada in a move to help reduce pressure on the platform. It has since expanded the experiment to several other countries, including Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia. Both tests could give the platforms insight into whether users feel more comfortable posting without public-facing likes, or whether that will hinder engagement and interactions. Moving on, only the rubble remains at the old site of the Folk Research Center at Mount Pleasant. The debris tells the story of the devastation which occurred on the 25th of March 2018 when the FRC was gutted by fire. Efforts have been ongoing by the FRC to rebuild its home and its inventory of cultural artifacts and books which the center once housed. A call by the director of the FRC, Louis Victor, looks to take it a step further. The new director urges members of the public to take part in an upcoming coup de main to clear out the rubble and clean up the old FRC site. More in this report.
One of the traditions which makes St. Lucia's heritage a unique and inviting one is the act of a coup de main. As described in the Creole Dictionary, a coup de main is a free work day. Quickly moving into Creole Heritage Month, celebrated during October, Director of the Folk Research Center, Louise Victor, has rolled out plans for the month, which includes a coup de main to be held at Mount Pleasant.
On October 5th, FRC will be having its coup de main, FRC Vivant coup de main, at our site on Mount Pleasant. Since the fire, there has been nothing that has happened there. The debris, everything is still there, and so we are cleaning up. We're doing a walkthrough with the fire service as well as an engineer tomorrow, as well as National Trust from a built heritage perspective, just to ensure that the integrity of the structure that remains is not cause for hazard for anyone who will be present.
The director encourages interested persons to walk with their supplies and come ready to declutter the site from the unsightly debris and rubble. All work and no play makes for a dull day, and Victor says the elements of a true coup de main will be in full swing come October 5th.
In true coup de main style, we will be cooking our meals on the stones. We're asking people to bring their cutlasses, bring their shovels, bring their wheelbarrows. We begin from 7 a.m. and we go up until 5 a.m. We also want to say special thank you to Solid Waste Management Authority, who have come on board to also help us with some supplies in that regard.
Creole Heritage Month looks to put the island's culture on full display with a calendar of month-long activities. The FRC Viva Coup de Main takes place at the FRC headquarters, Mount Pleasant, Castries, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
In a move to forge a closer relationship with the community and consumers at large, agricultural leaders in partnership with the Taiwanese Embassy have initiated a series of events which will serve to build interest in locally produced food, the people who grow them, and the needs of the consumers who buy them. This forms part of a newly initiated import substitution project which focuses efforts on increased production of 7 cash crops which are believed to assist in the Ministry of Agriculture's strategy to reduce the national food import bill. Amanda Faye Clark tells us more.
The farmers' market, embracing the ongoing ministry's theme of Eat Fresh, St. Lucia's Best, is a strategic move to meet the general population at the point of need, apprising consumers of the latest developments within the agri-food sector, farming trends and food safety, providing an outlet where farmers get an opportunity to showcase their produce, and encouraging the consumption of local crops. National Coordinator of the Fruit and Vegetable Import Substitution Project, Adeline Udovic, says the focus is on generating interest in the main on the 7 targeted crops under this project, namely pineapples, cabbages, sweet peppers, tomatoes, lettuce, watermelon, and cantaloupe and honeydew.
These crops are crops that farmers have been producing for a long time in St. Lucia, and the farmers have the technical savvy of production of these crops. So it's crops that we have deemed important, traditional crops, if you will, and also crops that they have the ability to produce. However, right now we do have issues that all of these crops, we don't have full-time production, as in the consistency in supply is an issue, where we have times of the year, due to our open field agriculture and also the different methods used by the farmers, production is in short supply. And most unfortunately, it coincides with the tourist season when the demand is at the highest. So through that project, we intend to introduce new technology that will allow the farmers to produce year-round.
Last week's farmers' market held in Roseau was the project's third hosting. Ms. Udovic says although it is early days yet, the initiative is gaining momentum.
Our aim is to have one farmer market per month, but at the rate we're going now, some of the places we've had farmers market like Miku, for example, they are asking us to have a next farmer market. So it's so successful that farmers on their own plan to have their own farmers market. So that's a very good indicator that the farmers market is working.
There are 8 agricultural regions in St. Lucia, and as Ms. Udovic explains, the strategy is to hold at least one event in each region, thereby increasing the chances of interaction between the community and farmers and the penetration of messages on the socio-economic benefits of buying and consuming locally grown foods, among others.
We've had many engagements with the different stakeholders. We've had trainings for the extension officers, because the extension officers are a very vital part of this project. They'll be our executing arm of the project. We have had engagements with the different ministries for information gathering. We've had meetings with the different chefs, the different buyers, the purchasers, the local purchasers as well for our supermarkets. And currently we're engaging in our farmer training program, where 100 farmers are being trained island-wide as we speak in the new technology.
The Agriculture Ministry continues to interface with its stakeholders on improved, sustainable actions to encourage farming livelihoods as a means for growing the subsector. From the Information Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture, I am Amanda Ficklock reporting.
Opposition leader Philip JPS says the influx of people seeking aid at the USNS Comfort brings to light St. Lucia's current health crisis. Pierre says with the delayed completion of the St. Jude Hospital and the staggered transition from the Victoria Hospital to the Owen King EU Hospital, the current administration is failing when it comes to the health sector.
We are in a health crisis in the country. That people want to be better. People want to feel better. People want to be able to afford to afford to go to the doctor and get treated. They want to do their tests. But they can't do it, and that is why when something looks free, they rush for it. And this is why the government's priority, the party government's priority, was to complete St. Jude and cause the transition back to the OK hospital.
He says the current administration needs to prioritize its actions moving forward. He says it is appalling that a horse racing track could seemingly be given greater attention than the establishment of a major health facility in the south.
There will be no excuse for 3 years for the government keeping people at the stadium in these conditions, making excuses, but boasting that St. Lucia will have a horse race on the 14th of December.
Meanwhile, the mission by the USNS Comfort will come to an end on the 30th of September 2019. Nearly 500 men and boys have been rescued from a building in the northern city of Kaduna, where the detainees were allegedly sexually abused and tortured. That's according to Nigerian police. Children as young as 5 were among those in chains at what was thought to be an Islamic school. Kaduna Police Chief Ali Ganga told the BBC the building was raided after a tip-off about suspicious activity. He described it as a house of torture and a place of human slavery. 8 suspects, most of them teachers, were arrested. The police chief said the detainees, some with injuries and starved of food, were overjoyed to be freed. The detainees said they had been tortured, sexually abused, starved, and prevented from leaving, in some cases, for several years. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. Tennyson Glasgow is up next with all the sporting action.